Alrighty, it is Friday, but I have to go back to Thursday. So after I record audio, I went back on at 3:20 and I unloaded the phone. I edited the audio. I worked on the character designs that weren't done yet. Out of the 4 that I was working on, I only managed to complete Simon and Fuyar. I haven't had a chance to work on Warren and Loris yet. So yeah, Tiffy ended up calling Monica back and she talked to her for a little bit. I got tired and I got off of the computer at 5:20. Monica got off at 5:40 officially, and we decided to leave for Albertsons to get water. We also got a little bit of food. We got home at 7, went straight to bed. We ended up waking up together sometime around 3. So I decided to finish working on the audio and the character designs. So I feel like I'm pretty much down for this design for Fuyar. At that point, I ended up settling for a color for Simon that I ended up regretting later. That I actually ended up going back and fixing it. The worst part is I tried to cue him to Patreon like that, and I ended up deciding, no, I don't like this. I'm going to change it. So I had to go back, fix it, and then reload it. So Monica joined me briefly at 6:10. We ended up eating breakfast early, and then I finished the audio at 6:40. So I got off at 7, and I went to go compress my video. Monica ended up getting up sometime around 8 and she cut a peach for the 2 of us. And then we crashed again. I ended up waking up sometime around 10:30. So we took a shower. I brainstormed for a little bit, and then Monica got out at 11:22. She went to go make food while I updated my journals and work on the extras. I knocked out one of the 4-panel comics I had to do. I'm starting to think that this entire arc I have of Fuyar's Cucumber Saga, it seems extremely stupid, but a part of me still thinks it's kind of funny. So I'm just trying to finish it. So Monica served us lunch. We ate, and then she went to go boil another set of beans. She's making less beans now because of how quickly the other beans ended up going bad. So then we walked around for 42 minutes talking, and then we went back to work at 2:16. I loaded my video, and the process of trying to finish the chapter 100 first extra was supposed to be the character poll closing. I realized that the character poll is actually set to close in October. I have nothing in between when this volume ends and when the next volume starts. And when the next volume starts, it'll be well into October. So I was like, shit. First off, I can't suddenly make this extra for chapter 91. It's not going to work because the 2 major extras for that set are already complete. One of them has to be Fauna's magic item. Then there's her joke about her wanting to be blonde, because I've been holding on to that for a long time. And then there was the extension, and I was like, shit, I can't put it in here. So the problem is that I can't put it at the end, and it's just I can't put it in any of the October ones. So I'm like, what do I do? I mean, I could try to maneuver it so that way it's one of the latter October chapters, but I don't know. It feels really strange for me to put it so far back, at the end of October, I guess. I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of is that if I actually change it to the end of October, that I can move it. But what I ended up deciding was to just front load it to chapter 90, which also makes me feel like maybe I should move it to the end of. No, I really wanted it to end. I really wanted the poll to close October 1st, honestly. So I'm just I'm gonna have to add it to chapter 90, even though a part of me feels like maybe I should actually move it to the end of October instead. No, it just feels weird moving it to the end of October. I don't see doing that. It doesn't make sense to me to do that. It makes more sense to just put the poll closing announcement at the end of the chapter 90 instead of at the end of I don't even know what the latter two chapters are for October. Let me get my calendar. Okay, so the end of October chapters are chapter 92 and 93. I think I'm pretty much stocked for those two chapters. I don't really see like trying to stick it. I don't know. I'm really on the fence about this. I mean, maybe I should talk to Monica about it, because like it liberates for me one of the other chapters. So I'm like, I don't know. Okay. So what I ended up doing instead was completing the second extra for chapter 91, and then I got tired and I got off at like 4 o'clock. So Monica got off with me. So I remember that card that we accidentally washed in laundry. We're trying to order a new one, and like I tried to do it, but I don't think I succeeded. I think all I ended up doing was changing my PIN. So I asked her to try to do it for me, because I didn't understand what the automator was telling me. So she's doing that right now. So what else needs to be done? Didn't get a chance to work on the script for chapter 114. I want to do that tomorrow. I have now two 4-panel comics I have to do. What else is there? What else is there? There's nothing else coming to mind besides that. I need to haul some sorry ass on the on all the extras, because like I still don't have very many of them done. I'm still trying to suss my way through all the 4-panel comics, because I feel like I just have some that feel like repeats, and I don't think I need all of them. Like I want Fauna to do something about Fuyar, but I also feel like I don't know if her course of action is really going to work for her. I didn't get to finish what I was writing because Monica was done with lunch. So like I need to work on that later and see what I can do with it. Is there anything else that's on my mind? Yeah, my chest is hurting again. It annoys me because like what I was doing was just arm exercises, and I'm wondering if it has anything to do with my bad posture, plus like anytime I move around my chest muscles. I don't know. I'm not really sure what it is, but like it's been hurting. It's been hurting all day, and like I've just been waiting for the pain to go away. So I'm like, I'm gonna see if it's gonna be like, if it's like the beginning of July where it went away after a few days. So we'll see. Is there anything else that's on my mind? No, I guess that's virtually it. Alrighty then. That's all for today. I will see you in the next one. Alrighty, it is Saturday, but I have to go back to Friday really quick. So after I recorded audio, I came back to see if Monica figured out how to replace that one money card that we accidentally washed on the phone, and she generally figured out where to call, but the phone hung up when we were trying to call that representative. So we both got tired and just decided to forget about it, especially because it was late in the day, and when you call that place, it's better to call in the morning. So yeah, we decided to hit Target and get food. We got home sometime around 6:11. We ate, and then we ended up going to bed sometime around 8. I slept until 1, and I got out of bed at 2 because I just couldn't go back to sleep. And I decided to resume work on chapter 114. I finished it at 4 o'clock and I printed it out. I really wanted to start working on the script for chapter 115, but I just didn't have the strength to do it. So, what I did do was I took my cell phone and I unloaded all the brainstorm notes I had been recording for the last month, and I converted all those files into MP3s. So yeah, I ended up getting off sometime around like 4:30, and I went back to sleep. I don't know how long it took me to sleep. I know I had some weird ass dreams though. It's very rare when I actually have dreams that take place in this apartment, because most of the dreams that I have take place in houses I lived in my childhood, and like never this place. So like I think at most I probably have had like 2 dreams in this house. So yeah. So I woke up at 7, Monica had just served me peaches that she caught, and we decided to go for a walk. We're trying to walk the route that we usually run for like the last like 2 or 3 times we went out running, and we ended up changing our minds and actually deciding to go and walk around the plaza parking lot looking for change. We only managed to find like 4 cents, and I found mostly bottles. So we got back at like 8:15. I rested until 9, and then I went back to work on the next script. Monica came to join me at 10. And I finished and printed out the script at like 10:50. So the 2 scripts are ready. I just need to do the storyboards. I have not had time to do them so far. So I resumed work on the character designs, but I just don't feel like I like that clothing that I chose for both Warren and Loris. I think I might want to draw something else. Monica tried to encourage me to try to finish it anyway. Maybe if I do color them in, I might feel differently. But right now, I just feel like the outfits suck, and I wanted to do something better, something that like, you know, something that seems more like profound, because right now the outfits just don't feel like they land. They just feel like generic clothing, and I want something that actually has like a very strong visual presence. I'm thinking about making Warren wear something that's very similar to the jacket that he wore with the belt, something like that, because like I feel like the jacket, the outfit that he was wearing previously, I felt like pays homage to the other jacket that he wore off his shoulders. I don't know. I'm talking out of my ass. I'm trying to figure out where to take their designs, because I just don't know. The outfits are just so hard to like come up with sometimes. Okay, so. And then we worked on extras. We watched a bunch of YouTube videos. We stopped to eat lunch at 11:47. We got off at like 12:06, and we walked around for 45 minutes, and then we crashed. We woke up sometime around like 3 something, and then we talked until like 3:40, and then we got out of bed. I set up all the stuff for recycling tomorrow. She wanted to go to recycling immediately, but I told her that, you know, the recycling center closes at 5, and it was almost 4, and it takes a while to walk all the way down there. It's like a block or a half away. So like I didn't think we were going to make it by the end of the day. So we're going to go recycling tomorrow. So we ended up walking around for 30 minutes, and I just left my computer on for her to watch something. And she's making dinner, so she's making chicken. I don't know if she's going to serve beans also. I really feel like if we have beans, we need to finish eating those beans. Okay, so this is what I need to do. I figure after we're done eating, I'm either going to be drawing, or I'm going to be... I'm mostly just going to be drawing. I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to be drawing the extras, or if I'm going to be drawing the storyboards, or the plans for future extras. So like not working on extras to finish, but working on extras to start. So like I really need to figure out where to fit that one character poll thing. I'm thinking about putting it at the end of the month, because like in the picture of Fauna, she has her hair down. That means that her ponytail is gone, and her little flower is gone, and Byron's tail is gone. Because when I drew her, she was supposed to be featured at the end of the volume, but she's not going to be there anymore. So I'm thinking about putting it on chapter 43, but I need to review back through the extras for that, and actually come up with the dialogue for the extras, so I can like know what I'm doing. Because right now I just don't. I lost the entire first week. I haven't completed enough. I need to figure out where to put that extra first, and then I can say, okay, I'm good. I know what to do now. Other than that, I just feel like, what the fuck am I doing? I don't even fucking know. Is there anything else that's on my mind? Anything else of significance? So we're thinking about going very soon to Knott's Berry Farm. She said that she was trying to change her mind on that, but I also want to go and see the Atlanta Park Downtown Plaza, and also I want to see the Source again, because like last time we were at the Source, the coronavirus thing just barely started. People were like avoiding going to the Asian stores at the time, and like we were some of the only people who were out there at the time. So yeah. I wanted to see the bakery. I don't really know if that bakery is still open. We didn't get to go back to it because she didn't have the patience to stay there. We got shown up so early.
And then there was the macaron place. Still want to try that. Still haven't got a chance to try macarons. And I kind of want to get another loaf of castella cake, but like I'm not really sure if we're gonna be end up doing any of those things. I think we probably aren't, but like I just want to try. She also wants to visit Fullerton. I think we're probably gonna go tomorrow. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe we're gonna wait until Monday because like she doesn't really like going out on weekends. So we'll have to figure this out. Other than that, I need to get a lot of stuff done, and I feel like I'm glad that I'm mostly done with I'm getting closer to being finished with all the whatchamacallits. I'm almost done with all the character designs, at least for the second half of the story. So anything past the aftermath portion where everybody was just trying to figure out what to do after Philippe's shit was happened. So I'm like, I don't know. I just really want to catch up the scripts. At the end of the week, I'm going to try to dedicate Saturdays to just a script so I can like catch up where I am in the story. So like when I'm done, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it next week, but I need to do the scene with Marie and Pasha, and then LaBelle's resolution scene. So that needs to happen too. Is there anything else that's on my mind besides that? I'm trying to mostly just get like up to chapter like 120, so that way I don't have to worry about what I have to work on when we get back into this, because like right now we're only like up to chapter 115, so I'm going to do 116, 117, and then I think I'm probably not going to have time to work on it at the end of the month, because I'm going to be too busy trying to put text on everything. So, oh man, I have so much to do. Is there anything else that's on my mind? No, I guess that's virtually it. Alrighty then. That's all for today. I will see you in the next one.
Alrighty, it is Sunday, but I have to go back to Saturday. So after I record audio, we ate dinner, we watched YouTube, and then while we were watching YouTube, I ended up planning through the extras. I decided I was going to put that poll closing extra for chapter 92, and I decided I'm just going to go back and redo Fauna so she looks like the current version of Fauna in that chapter. So I had to go back and retrieve the files. Got off at 6. We went to bed at 6:20. I changed my alarm clock ring to Ocean, and we agreed to go running tomorrow morning. I had a really, really weird dream, and I woke up a few times during the night, but I officially got up at 4 a.m. to the alarm clock. My chest pain doesn't feel like it hurts anymore-ish. It was a little bit in pain for most of the beginning of the day, but like I'm not noticing it as much as the day goes by, so I'm hoping by tomorrow it's going to be completely gone. We'll have to see though. The problem is that I keep sleeping on my chest, which is probably what's been preventing it from healing. Last time I got the chest pain, I made sure to sleep on my back, and like it went away after a whole night. So I don't know, I'm just not sure. So we ended up leaving at home at like 4:13. We got back at like 5 from our run, went back to bed. I had a really weird ass dream. Monica woke me up at 7. She cut a peach for breakfast and she served me my half. And like I woke up like seconds after she came into the room and stared at me, and I was like, how long have you been standing there? She's like, oh, I just got here. But like the moment of her walking up woke me up. So yeah, after that I went back on the computer. I fixed the character poll announcement image, and then afterward I switched over to coloring Fouillard's companion illustration for his magic item, but I didn't end up finishing it because I got super sidetracked trying to replan out the extras, and by 9:30 I finally had all of them decided. I'm so happy. So yeah, after that I ended up getting off at like 9:50. I walked around for a little bit and listened to some music, and then I stopped at 10:02 to work on the 4-panel comic scripts. I managed to make 3 of them, and then I ended up working on the storyboard for chapter 114. I couldn't get the whole thing to fit. I ended up cutting off right when Pasha tells Loris that he's not really sure if he should trust Shasta and Marie. And then I ended up kicking Monica out of bed to make lunch. I've turned back on my computer. I edited through chapter 14 and 15 because I had to change the order of the scenes between chapter 15 because of the excess scene carries over, and then I stopped so we can eat lunch and watch Digimon and Precure. Okay, we agreed that Digimon was so slow and boring. We decided to watch it double speed, and like it took only 30 minutes to watch both episodes. But this is our overall opinion. I feel like Garudamon's episode is very like lacking. Sora comes off as such a tryhard. Like she cares so much about people, and they focus on her relationship with Matt way too much than their relationship with Joe. So it leaves me feeling like, can we just stop already? As for Precure, man, I just that Precure and the new Precure, I just can't stand her. She's just like, oh god. But this entire episode, she kept disappearing every time Latte didn't want her around. I don't know how that worked. It seemed like she was disappearing because Latte didn't like her, but it also seemed like she was disappearing because she was depressed. I don't know. It was weird. So yeah. After that, I reprinted out chapter 115, and then I scanned the 4-panel comics I finished, and I printed them out in red. I gave Monica back the 4-panel pages that I had used to erase because I hadn't used any pen on them, whereas some of the time I do use pen on them. So yeah, got tired and I got off the computer at like 1:32. So I worked a little bit on chapter 115 storyboard. I stopped right before the scene with Flora and Simon, and then I remembered at 2:30 that we had to go to the recycling center. We didn't go yesterday because it was already 4 o'clock and it closes at 5. So because we were in such a hurry to leave, I didn't notice that she had a bottle in the corner of the kitchen, and she forgot to tell me because she forgot about it too. So we ended up leaving that bottle behind. We also missed out on taking, I think, 2 or 3 bottles that we found on the way there. I really wanted to stop for them, and she wouldn't let me stop. So we ended up making $15.05, and then we got back at 3:43, and then we rested until 5. So she's making dinner and I'm recording audio. This is what I need to do. I need to finish the storyboard for chapter 150. And I also need to set up the drafts for 114 and 115 because they don't exist yet. And even though I'm not like avidly printing them out anymore, I'm trying to just get by with just drawing out parts of the panel and then printing out the panels in blue, and just to save on black ink because that's technically what it wastes the most. And I'm hoping I'm making the color last longer because we don't have much color, and like ink cartridges haven't been available in a while now. So like I'm not really sure about that, or like when they're gonna come back in stock again. All I know is that I haven't seen them in a long time. So is there anything else that's on my mind? One of the decorations on our wall keeps falling down. I put it back up a few days ago, but it fell down again. I have to fix that. Is there anything else that's on my mind besides that? No, not really. Tomorrow, Monica wanted to go to Fullerton, but we're thinking about rescheduling because she wants the money to come in first. The money doesn't come in until like the 1st of September, so we're probably going to wait it off a little bit. We're also planning on going to Knott's Berry Farm, and I'm not really sure when that's happening. I know we wrote down the calendar, but I can't remember which day it was. And then we scheduled to visit our old hometown in Garden Grove, like not next week, but next week. So we'll see how that goes. Is there anything else that's on my mind? No, I guess that's virtually it. Alrighty then, that's all for today. I will see you in the next one. Alrighty, it is Monday, but I have to go back to Sunday really quick. So after I record audio, we ate dinner, and then I finished the storyboard for chapter 115 at 6. And then, of course, it didn't all fit. I went back to bed. I went to bed at 7. I slept mostly throughout the night. I did wake up at 3, and I got up at 3:30 to update my journal. And then I made a brief plan of what I wanted to do today. And then I went back to my bedroom and just laid around until 4. The alarm clock rang. I kicked Monica out of bed, and then we got dressed to go jogging. At the time, my pain basically felt like it was gone, except for when I like raised my arms, so that way they were like zombie out, Frankenstein out. When I was making that pose, I could feel it a little bit, but it was not that bad. So afterward, Monica and I left, and I think it was like, what time did we leave? It was like 4 something, like 4:15 or something. We didn't leave like right away. So we ran. We ended up changing paths because the pathway behind the school that we used to leave the area was blocked off by homeless people, and we didn't want to disturb them, so we ended up just going the long way around. We ended up getting home in a slightly bad mood. Monica suddenly decided to get all upset about what we were talking about, and I tried to get her to help her, but she didn't want to do anything about it. So we were stuck in that situation where we just had to not talk to each other because like that's her only way of solving problems. So annoying. So yeah, I ended up going back on. I worked on the drafts and the script correction, and then I finished at like 6:37. I resumed coloring the extras, and Monica was on for a little bit, but she ended up leaving me as soon as she was done cooking chicken. So I worked on the Happy 100 Chapters 4-panel comic draft. I scanned it at 8:15. I printed it out in blue, and I got off at 8:20. By that point, I was like really close to finishing Fouillard's Magic Card extra illustration. It still needs the text, but I haven't gotten down to it yet. So yeah. Okay, I went back to the bedroom, and I managed to complete like 2 4-panel comics. I decided to kill one of my dying pens by trying to rewrite the Frozen movie, the first one, and like in the process I ended up realizing I was stuck in the same position because not all the characters were moving at the same time, and I had to cut out this entire section of the story because the way the actual movie is structured, it's made so that way there's a stop that's like, what do we do now? And that's not the way it should be. I mean, you shouldn't have that problem of the characters not knowing what to do. The problem should be always constantly unwinding. And like, so I had to maneuver it so that way the characters were constantly moving to the resolution. And I left out I ended up leaving out the trolls. And in the process of leaving out the trolls, I had no way of getting the characters up to speed on how the information works. So I was like, I ended up feeling like this. By the time it was done, I feel like the story still felt bullshit. And the reason why it feels bullshit is because also not knowing what to do about her powers wasn't properly handled in the canon. So it left me feeling like trying to expect someone who's constantly freaking out about their own issues and expecting them to solve their problem doesn't work in real life. I have this problem with Monica all the time, so it left me feeling like this is a really bad way of how they handle this. In order for it to really work, she needs to really spend more time with her abilities instead of just being like, oh, love solves everything. I'm like, oh, fuck you. Okay, so I ended up completing after that 3 more easy 4-panel comics at like 9:40, and I ended up stopping. So while I was up, I ended up going back to the used paper bin. I retrieved my very first printout of chapter 115, which I thought I was going to be storyboarding. I ended up taking it so I can rewrite the chapter on paper since I didn't have time to be on the computer. I was still resting. So, since I couldn't be on the computer at the time, it was still resting. So I ended up rewriting all of chapter 116, and I liked it so much better. So I went back on at 10:33. I scanned everything I was working on. I printed out everything in red. I typed out the new chapter 116. I printed it out at 11:37. Monica came to join me. She made lunch, and we ate and we watched YouTube, and I ended up getting off at like 11:58. So we walked around from 12 to 12:41, and that's when suddenly out of nowhere I felt really weird, and I couldn't put my finger on how exactly I felt. All I know is that I felt like I should lay down. I mean, I wasn't like horrendously bad, but it was concerning. Like, this could get worse kind of feeling. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna lay down. And I'm not sure if I was having like a actual self-inflicted panic attack, or if my body was just, panicking or reacting to something. All I know is that a few times I felt like the panic attack symptoms. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna sit here and I'm gonna like Google all the different feelings that I feel and try to figure out which one of these things is what I have. It went away after a point. I don't know how long I was in that situation. Monica was boiling beans at the time. So she came back and she ended up erasing the drafts for the 4-panel comics that I used. So I told her, okay, I think this has to stop. Now I need to frequently go to the doctor, because like I've been avoiding going to the doctor since I started feeling like shit. Like, I think the time that I really genuinely started feeling like shit recently was in 2017 when we first brought the new table to the house. I think I like hurt my shoulder, but like ever since that point, since we started living here and started using that table, I guess it's an arthritis I feel in my chest sometimes, and like that's what made my breast hurt when I was trying to exercise. I ended up like aggravating the pain into my breast, and then now this has happened. I'm like, I don't know if I can correlate the same symptom that I got from here to the same symptoms I got from that issue I had in November. So I'm like, I need to talk to somebody about this. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna call my provider coordinator, whatever, and I asked them if they could switch my hospital to Monica's hospital, because her hospital's closer by. Technically, they moved farther away, but we can still get to there in one bus. So she told me, hey, they have a service you can call, and that service can take you there. You just need to tell them a few days in advance, because they can't do it like right away. So I was like, okay, sounds good. So I ended up getting my hospital changed. They're going to get me a new doctor. And then I have to wait until it's certified. So I'm gonna like see in a few more days if I can make an appointment, because I can't do it right now because they have to register that I've been transferred. Other than that, while I was at it, I ended up replacing that money card that we will wash in the laundry. I was like, okay, well, I'm here. I might as well do this. And like, I am surprised at how fast I got service, because like initially it seemed like everybody was busy, but they took me like pretty quickly. Okay, so yeah. Other than that, so all this I ended up finishing by 2:09, and Monica wanted to know if I was going to rest or if I was going to keep working, and like I decided to keep working because like she was doing something else and she was busy, so I was like, okay. So I storyboarded through chapter 116's new script. I finished that at like 3:04. I linered it until like 3:40, the Happy 100 Chapters comic. And then she went to go check the mail, and then I went back on the computer. We watched some videos. I worked on finishing the Happy 100 Chapters picture. I ended up scanning it at like 4:02, and then I assembled and passed it off to her at like 4:14. So she went to go work on that. So I did the draft for chapter 116. I had to reformat the script for that, and then while she was on the computer, she ended up talking to our aunt Olga, and she ended up telling us that one of our cousins died. And the crazy thing is that woman's 34, which actually really like disturbed me. So apparently that cousin of ours had lupus, and also she died of a heart attack suddenly, and I was like, that really scared me. I assumed that her heart attack was caused by the lupus in some capacity. I don't know. All I know is that really scared me, especially because I'm not feeling well and I don't know what to do about my situation, and I'm really scared about it getting worse, which makes me wonder if that's why I was feeling panic attack syndromes, because I'm scared about getting worse. But at the same time, by this point, I feel more resolved about just going ahead and just trying to figure out what the problem is. I hate that I have to wait though. I was telling Monica, I'm like, do we go to the emergency room? Because like I didn't feel so incredibly bad that I felt like I needed to go. But at the same time, I did feel concerned about how I felt like this could get worse. I just, I I don't know. I wonder if I like pinched a vein or something like that, because what I felt was like a tingling sensation in the top of my head, and it went down to my my neck and my back. And then I started feeling like weird in my body, like that I shouldn't have been standing. Like it was just too much of a burden. And like I wasn't in pain, but I just didn't feel right to be standing. So that's why I laid down. So like, I don't know. I'm really worried about this. I'm also worried about like waking up with problems tomorrow, or like waking up in the middle of the night with problems. I'm feeling okay right now. My arms feel like hurt from doing too many arm exercises. I was doing some weird arm exercises earlier, and my joints were throbbing because of it. So I don't know. I have to ask when I get a chance to make an appointment. I have to do that soon. Okay, so after that, when I was finished with the drafts for chapter 116, I ended up working on the chapter 117, 118 summaries, and I decided to get off at 5 o'clock exactly. So this is what I need to do now. At some point, I need to work through my drafts. I need to finish the last 2 4-panel comics I haven't drawn yet. I need to get down to drawing all the easy illustrations, but I'm doing the hard the 4-panel comics first because they take a long time to do. And then, but at the same time, the illustrations go so much faster, and like I'm kind of having a hard time deciding what some of them should look like, which is why I'm like dawdling on it. So this is the second week of the vacation. I only have like 4 weeks left. I don't really feel like I got enough done the first week. But at the same time, I'm making good ground on the character designs and the scripts, which is good, but I don't want to be still working on this during October, which is going to be really bad. So, like, I'm trying to get everything up by at least, the first week that the comic starts running again. So I still have at least 3 chapters, I think, until then, and I have to reload the last 2 because of what happened with Tapas malfunctioning and showing the final chapter instead of showing the next chapter in the queue, which was annoying. I don't know how long that's going to be a problem. I'm hoping like by like a few months they're going to have that resolved and fixed. I don't know. I noticed it because I like to queue like 10 chapters, but like they're not nice and they don't notice things like that. I don't know. Is there anything else that's on my mind? No, I guess that's virtually it. Alrighty then, that's all for today. I will see you in the next one. Alrighty, it is Tuesday, but I have to go back to Monday really quick. So after I record audio, I recorded myself brainstorming through Marie and Pasha's conversation, and I spent a little time on Agnes and LaBelle's conversation, but I think I mostly just wasted myself too much on the conversation between Marie and Pasha that I just didn't have anything else for Agnes and LaBelle. So afterward, I checked on Monica, and so she told me she wanted to go out to get food, but I told her I didn't feel well and I didn't feel like eating either. So we ended up just going to bed instead. Didn't have too much trouble sleeping. I ended up waking up sometime between 11 and 12. We did talk to each other a smidge when we both woke up at that time. And then I went back to sleep. I woke up again at 5:30. I felt more or less fine. I wasn't sure if I was going to stay feeling fine, but I was like banking on it. And then I went back on the computer at 5:50 and I updated the budget. I got off at 6:20. We left for Vaughn's. We walked all the way there. We almost forgot to pay the rent on the way out. Oh my God. So we hit Vaughn's. We spent like $119 on some food. And then we found out that it seems like all the Safeway stores are doing this, but like they're giving out Disney toys. So these toys are like, I don't even know the material, like a rubbery material, and like it's just little, Disney heads, and you just stick them onto things. It's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. I don't like it. We ended up getting a very like peanut butter unpainted Pooh head. We got a highlighter unpainted Minnie head, and then we got a painted regular Pumbaa head, and it was just made me feel like this is stupid. Why are they doing this? I guess they're just trying to incentivize people to spend money on Safeway stores. So yeah. So
after we got home with the food, we put everything away. We rested for a little bit, and then we left for Fullerton. The first place we went to was the bank at the Orange Fair Plaza, but like it wasn't allowing withdrawals, so we felt like we wasted our time there. After that, we browsed Target, and then we got food at Burger King, and then we hit Walmart, and we got some things there, mostly just soap. And we arrived home at like 10:30. It took a really, really long time to get home. We had to wait at least 10 minutes at each bus stop to get picked up. While we were waiting on Anaheim Boulevard, I ended up seeing this black father, and he had his child, I don't know if it's a boy or girl, on his shoulders, and they were looking at the view from the Alexian, which is this apartment complex that they built over there. And like two things crossed my mind. I wasn't sure if that man got to the Alexian on his own accord, or if he got there through some type of public housing. Because if he got there through public housing, that gives me so much hope for our public housing system that we have out here. And I wasn't sure if the Lexington was a place that normal people could actually just, normally move into with a housing assistance kind of program. And it just, but if he got there on his own accord, well, congratulations for him. But I really want to know, because I've been worried about this, especially because they keep building all these different housing, locations here in our region. And it just makes me wonder, are they trying to get people into housing? I don't know. I'm worried about it so much, especially because of the coronavirus. So I ended up asking Monica, do you think they could see us from here? So I ended up waving to them, and he actually saw me. And I think he tried to show his kid that I was waving at them, and the kids started crying. I could hear the kid crying from across the street, and I was like, oh, okay, never mind. He was taking his kid back in after that. Oh, God. But yeah, that was interesting. Okay, so we got home sometime around like 10:30 again. And the first thing I did, I went on the computer. We ate lunch. We watched a bunch of videos that we were behind on that we split up at like 10:51. I went to work on finishing Fuyar's magic card and this entire page, the first extra for chapter 99. And I actually succeeded in doing it. I ended up finishing it sometime around like 12:27. So Monica came back to join me at like 11:40, and she was finishing the coloring for the Happy 100 Chapters 4-panel comic. So like that's done now. So while I was at it, I was trying to nail a perfect pose for Fauna's magic item. I ended up coming up with two general poses. I'm not sure if I'm going to do either of them. I need more time to work on it. So far, I'm drawn on both of them, and I'm not too thrilled with how they're coming out. I think I might need the third one, which makes me upset because I was hoping these would work. So yeah, I got tired and I got off at 1:08. I rested until Monica was done with the coloring, and then we decided to leave for the bank. So we did more our financial transactions there, and then afterward we hit Target. We got new pillows and we got fizzy water. So that was basically what happened. We got home at like 3:21. We rested until 4:17. We ate dinner, which was basically salad with celery sticks. So it's just all this plants. And then we took a shower at like 4:45. So I'm recording audio. That's the way I need to do. Monica has an appointment tomorrow. She wants to try to go to Knott's Berry Farm, but she needs to find out if they're open, and she doesn't want to go if they're not open. Knott's Berry Farm is not going to be the only thing we do there. We're most likely also going to do what's it called? The mall that's right next to it. I keep forgetting the name of that mall. I think it's the Buena Park downtown mall. Is that what it was called? Oh, it's been a while. It's been a while since I've been there, so I don't really remember. We used to go there a lot. We used to have to walk such a long distance to get there from where we were staying at Coral. Oh my God. Okay, so aside from that, I really want to get Fauna's thing done soon so I can have both extras for the first chapter done as fast as possible so I can queue it as soon as chapter 90 goes up, so people can get an idea when the next chapter comes up. I also need to come up with a schedule for the end of this thing. I need to make a new schedule thing. I can't forget about that. I can't load chapter 100 without it. What else is there? What else is there that I need to mention? I don't know if I want to stay up doing anything. I feel like I just want to sleep. I don't want to like pressure myself to do anything. I'm still waiting to find out like when I'm probably registered to Monica's clinic so I can like schedule for an appointment, because like I just want to check on my general health. Other than that, I don't know. If we go to Knott's Berry Farm, I'm definitely bringing everything I have to work on, because I just have so much stuff and I haven't really taken much of effort into doing any of it. I barely did anything for the first 4-panel comic that's supposed to come out in chapter 92, I think. I barely done anything for that. So I have so much stuff to do. It's not even funny. And like the 4-panel comics are like the hardest things to do, because like there's so many pictures, and I still have 2 of them I haven't done yet, and I just I can't think of anything. One thing I'm definitely looking forward to doing this weekend, which is going to be like either Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, is chapter 117 and 118. Which is, like I said, the conversations between Marie and Pasha, and then Agnes and LaBelle. And I've been really looking forward to these conversations. I think they're going to be the easiest chapters to do in the queue, because they're going to be completely in dark, and we've been doing dark chapters for like ages. So we finally perfected the method of doing those at fast speed. So I don't know. I am so tired right now. I can't even. Is there anything else that's on my mind? No, I guess it's virtually. I can't think of anything else to say. All right, then. That's all for today. I will see you in the next one.
Alrighty, it is Wednesday, but I have to go back to Tuesday really quick. So after I recorded audio, Monica and I ended up just resting around. We listened to a little bit of music, and then she helped me choose Fauna's magic card picture. And at that point, I was like, I'm down for the pose, but I wasn't a fan of Fauna's face. I was going to change it later. So we ended up talking until 6:37. Then we went to bed. I woke up the next morning at like 4. I got out of bed at 5:30. I scanned and printed out the drafts in blue at 5:53, and then I switched over to coloring the Happy 100 Chapters 4-panel comic. I decided that I didn't want to get stuck like shading through the whole thing, so I'm like, I'm gonna just leave it mostly like unshaded and just text it. So yeah, Monica came to join me at 6:16. I stopped at 6:50 to buy those 2 lead refills I needed. It came out to like $70, and I ended up having to update the budget once I was done with that. At 7 a.m. I made a palette for Loris. Finally, we've been coloring him in for such a long time. It's a wonder why I didn't make a palette for him in the past, and Monica had made somewhat of a palette for him in the past, so I ended up updating his palette on Monica's version of the character palettes, and then I also updated Byron because she never had a color for the scar on his face, and I had a separate thing for that, so I ended up fixing it. Other than that, I watched the news and I got off at 8. We still had to wait for Monica's phone call appointment, so I started getting ready to leave for Knott's Berry Farm without her. She got off and we walked around for about 10 minutes, and then she got tired at like 8:30, so we rested until the phone call. The phone call happened at like 9:37. Apparently the woman didn't tell her that when she meant I'm going to call you at 9, she didn't specify that it was at 9:30. So we got dressed and we left to go sometime around like 10:10. We walked to Subway and we bought lunch, and then we got the Lincoln bus to Knott's. So the specific bus that makes a detour to Knott's is Electric and Main. So we took that bus. It made a detour, and we got off at Stanton because it doesn't stop on Beach. So we had to walk all the way down to Beach. And the first thing we did was we made a mistake. We had two choices. We could cross Beach and go straight into the park, or we could stay on the street that we were already on and try to get the underpass. And like, she didn't know that the underpass was blocked off. So when we went over there was no way to get over. All we could do from that point was just walk all the way down to the next crosswalk at the end of the street. So we made this extra long walk for no fucking reason. And I'm like, oh, it's always like this with her. She like gets this idea, and then I have to entertain it, and then I end up regretting entertaining it. So we just ended up like wasting some of our foot power doing that. Okay, so the first thing we do when we got there is we found a place to sit and eat. We ate lunch, and then after lunch, we ended up just wandering around all the shops. There wasn't very many places to see. It was weird being in a Peanuts-inspired shop. It just felt like they were just trying so hard to be wannabe Disney. I found some shirts I liked, but they were only for kids. They weren't for adults. It was so annoying. It's just that they were like the colorful tie-dye, and like it set me that most of the adults' shirts were like drabby colors. Didn't get anything. I was so impressed that they had plushies of all the characters. Oh my god. So we ended up checking out this really interesting trinket store. The part I liked most about the trinket store was all the nautical themed stuff, and then Monica liked all the tropical themed stuff, and like everything else was just like the Christmas stuff and the Halloween stuff. We didn't really pay it much mind. We didn't really care for it. I mean, I love Christmas and all, but like I'm really more into summer lately, and it makes me feel kind of bad that I've become a summer person. So yeah. After that, she wanted to check out the Build-A-Bear, but they were being very strict about who can walk in at a time. They only allow one party at a time, and like if it hadn't have been for that, I would have been like, hey, let's go check out the Build-A-Bear. But it made me feel like, no, we're not even. All we're gonna do is just wander around and leave, and like that's basically stealing business from them. I couldn't justify doing it, so we just ended up browsing the store from the outside, just looking into the window shopping, you know. And after that, we check out the main gift shop. I found this Beanie Boo I wanted. It was another owl that had like kitty ears, and like I tried so hard to find one that was properly made, but they were also haphazardly made. They were like hideous, and I couldn't believe like how much of a struggle it was for me to find one that actually looked good to buy. And I was like, you know what, forget about it. I was putting way too much effort into it, and like I was wishing that the dolls were a little bigger, but they weren't. So I was like, oh, forget about it. So we ended up leaving. After that, we ended up taking the La Palma bus home. I tried to talk her into like going to the mall, but she just didn't feel like it. She was way too tired. We spent most of our time just walking down the beach street for no reason. So yeah, we ended up getting home at 1:50. I went back on the computer at 2. I scanned everything that I was working on the bus. So I got these 2 4-panel comics ready. I printed them out, and then Monica went to rest, but she came back to join me sometime around 2:30. She made dinner, and we stopped to eat, and then we split up sometime around like 3:12. I ended up working on my printout sheets, and I printed out some random things I wanted to glue into my journals, and I ran out of blue. So I'm completely out of blue. I need to start using reds and pinks and greens for my my work now, which is kind of a bummer, but like I know these color cartridges don't last very long. So yeah, I don't know when, but I need to at least at some point change out my black, because I know I'm gonna run out of that too. So yeah. After that, I got off at like 3:38. I ended up cutting out my printouts. I decorated my journals for next year up until like 5:16. So we just split up right now. She's writing in her journal, and this is what I need to do. This day is pretty much over. I figure we're going to go to sleep. Tomorrow, I'm going to finish the Happy 100 Chapters comic. And then after that, I need to finish the lineup for Fauna's magic item. And then after that, I need to get something done as far as line arting the 4-panel comics that are ready, and then trying to figure out how to finish the ones that aren't ready. And like, I'm getting nervous about this because it's already been 1 week, and so far I only have 3 extras done in 1 week, and I still have like a bunch I need to do. I don't know how fast I'm gonna get through them, but I usually like I don't want to say I've struggled to complete them towards the end of the session, but yeah, lately I've been struggling to complete them. I'm just like, I don't like how long it's taking me to do this. It makes me so mad. I'm hoping that by the time that I finish the series completely, I'll have more chance to like finish the extras, because I don't have to worry about that. I don't know. I hate this so much. The more that this goes on, the more I keep thinking I shouldn't even bother doing specials at the end of the series, because like the specials were supposed to be just for fun. I want to do a spring special, but like as time goes by, I just keep feeling like it's not worth it. And like at this point, it's like I only have like one solid joke that I really wanted to tell, and I'm wondering if I could just get rid of it, or if I should incorporate it much later in the story. I don't know. This is so annoying. So yeah, we'll have to see when we get there. I am presently like 4 chapters away from finishing all the chapters I have to do for this next session. I think I will be able to get through chapters 117, 118 next time on the computer, hopefully. I don't really know. I'm like, it's literally best case scenario. If I do make it to 120 during this vacation, I want to see if I can just grind to the ending, because like I want to end this series and I want to do it soon, but I'm not really sure how long it's gonna take, and I'm trying not to like get into a volume 14, but I feel like it's so possible, and I just don't want to. I only wanted to use half of volume 13, but at the speed that volume 12 is moving so far, it's almost over, and they haven't even gotten to the next storyline. I was like, oh fuck, this is terrible. It's taken so long to just get through this storyline. I'm like, oh god. I'm like, I need to get through a lot in volume 13. It's not even funny. So like, I don't know what to do. I'm just trying not to be stressed out about it, but like, oh man, I think I'm definitely going to need a volume 14. I didn't want one, but like at the speed this is moving, I'm like, I just don't know what else to do. I don't know what else to do. I just feel so like stuck. Is there anything else that's on my mind? No, I guess that's virtually it. Alrighty then. That's all for today. I will see you in the next one.